Close your eyes now. Let the weight of the day drift away and imagine yourself entering a world older than memory. A world where the earth was young, and the great creatures we call dinosaurs walked under skies untouched by humankind. The air was thicker then, the forests denser, the oceans deeper, the stars the same as they are now, shining above beings so magnificent that even their bones would speak across millions of years. Tonight, as you lie here in comfort, you will not need to chase them, you will not need to fear them. To 101 sleepy facts about dinosaurs, each one a soft step, leading you closer to rest, each one a calm whisper of time itself. Before we drift fully into this prehistoric dream, I want to gently invite you to support this journey. If these words bring you calm, if this gentle walk through ancient time helps you rest, consider leaving a like when you awaken. Share this with someone who longs for peace and subscribe to return here whenever you need sleep to find you quickly. And I would love to know, what fascinates you most about the lost world of dinosaurs? Leave a comment when morning comes, so that together we can continue to explore the mysteries of life, softly and deeply. But for now, there is no need for action, no need for effort. Tonight, there is only rest. Breathe slowly. Inhale as if you are drawing in the cool air of a forest that has been growing for hundreds of millions of years. Exhale as if you are releasing the dust of ages, letting it fall gently to the ground. Inhale, and the air fills you with stillness. Exhale, and you are lighter, softer, calmer. The rhythm of your breath becomes the rhythm of time itself, moving slowly, steadily, carrying you further back into the story of Earth. And now picture it, the Mesozoic era, stretching across vast expanses of time, Triassic, Jurassic, Cretaceous. These are not just names from textbooks, they are landscapes of memory, oceans of silence, skies filled with winged shadows. Dinosaurs lived in every corner of this earth. Deserts, forests, plains, and coasts. Some were small, no larger than a bird you might see outside your window, and some were titans, longer than buses, taller than houses, heavier than elephants. Yet in this narration, they are not roaring, not fighting, not thundering. They are peaceful, gentle, simply living. And in their living, they bring you to rest. As you listen, you will hear about their size, their colors, their habits, their mysteries. Each fact will be simple, easy to follow, soft in tone. You will not need to think hard. You will only need to drift along as if carried by a river that flows through time. Imagine these facts as stepping stones, each one guiding you deeper into calm, deeper into stillness, deeper into the safe embrace of sleep. 101. That is the number that will carry us. Not too few, not too many. Just enough to fill the mind without crowding it, to occupy the wandering thoughts with gentle wonder, to keep the door of sleep open until you cross it fully. As we count them, as we unfold them, the night will become softer, the body heavier, the eyelids lower. And so, here we begin. The story of dinosaurs, not as noise, but as lullaby. The facts, not as lessons, but as whispers. The world of the past, not as something to study, but as something to rest within. Breathe again. Feel yourself carried back. You are safe. You are calm. You are ready. The dinosaurs are waiting, and they will walk gently through your dreams tonight. Block 2, the dawn of the dinosaurs. Let yourself drift further now, sinking deeper into the current of time, until the world around you fades, and all that remains is an ancient Earth. More than 200 million years in the past. The air is warm. The land still shifting, the seas stretching wide, the forests beginning to bloom with strange plants that no human eye has ever seen alive. This is the Triassic period, the very dawn of the dinosaurs, when the planet was young in its arrangements and bold in its experiments with life. Tonight, you do not need to memorize names. You do not need to hold on tightly to dates. You need only to let these whispers of history pass softly over you, like a breeze carrying the scent of pine through an endless forest, each fact another leaf falling gently, guiding you toward deeper calm. The first fact to settle in your mind is this: the earliest dinosaurs were small, no larger than dogs, some even smaller than cats. They were not the towering giants we picture when we hear the word dinosaur. Instead, they were light, quick-footed and fragile, creatures that tested survival in a changing world. Imagine them darting through the underbrush, eyes alert, bodies lean, their movements quiet, delicate, like shadows. There is something soothing in knowing that the story of such enormous creatures began with such fragile beginnings, a reminder that greatness often grows from the smallest seeds. The second fact to rest upon you is that dinosaurs were not the rulers of the Triassic Earth at first. They lived alongside other reptiles, some fierce and large, and for millions of years they were just one branch among many. Yet quietly, patiently, they endured, adapted, and grew. Over time, as extinction swept away their rivals, dinosaurs began to rise. There is calm in this too, the understanding that strength does not need to rush, that survival belongs to those who adapt steadily, softly, without haste. The third fact is that the world they lived in was one continent, Pangaea, a single vast landmass where deserts stretched endlessly and coasts ran for thousands of miles. Imagine walking across such a land, no borders, no seas to divide, only wide plains and mountains that seemed eternal. For dinosaurs, this unity of land allowed them to spread, to move, to wander. And for you, lying here now, there is a comfort in imagining such a vast, unbroken space. A reminder that sometimes the world itself feels like a single breath, a single rhythm carrying you forward. The fourth fact drifts in. The earliest dinosaurs were bipeds, walking on two legs, their forelimbs free. Some scientists believe this gave them speed, agility, and freedom to adapt. Picture them running lightly across ancient sands, their bodies balanced, their tails stretched behind like natural counterweights. There is a grace in that image, a softness in their design, a simplicity in their survival. As you breathe, imagine your own balance, your own rhythm, steady and sure, guided by nature as gently as theirs. The fifth fact whispers that even from the beginning, dinosaurs were diverse. Some were predators with sharp teeth and claws. Others were herbivores, feeding on the early plants. This diversity was their strength, allowing them to spread and thrive in every environment. In your own life, diversity of thought, of feeling, of experience is also a strength. The brain, like the earth, thrives on variety, and rest comes more easily when we trust in the richness of what we are. The sixth fact glows softly in the darkness. Even though they lived so long ago, dinosaurs leave traces still, not only in their fossils but in the very birds that fly above us today. Birds are living dinosaurs, descendants of those first fragile creatures that once darted through the Triassic forests. Every time a bird sings outside your window, you are hearing the voice of the dinosaurs, softened by time, transformed by evolution, but still alive. There is wonder in this, and also peace. The knowledge that nothing is truly lost, only changed, only softened, only carried forward in another form. As these first six facts settle over you, notice how they are not heavy, not demanding. They do not press upon you like lessons in a classroom. They fall gently, like leaves in autumn, each one a soft shape drifting through the air, landing upon the quiet surface of your mind. 101 in total will come, but you do not need to hold them. You do not need to count them. You need only to let them pass, one by one, until the rhythm of facts becomes the rhythm of breath, until the weight of knowledge becomes the lightness of sleep. Breathe again, slowly. Inhale the air of the Triassic, warm and heavy. Exhale the quiet of your room, soft and calm. Inhale the beginning of a world. Exhale the release of your day. The dinosaurs are only just arriving, and already they are carrying you into silence. Block 3, the rise of the giants. The gentle current of time carries us forward now, leaving behind the earliest small and fragile dinosaurs of the Triassic, and guiding us softly into the Jurassic, an age when the earth grew greener, wetter, fuller of life, and when the dinosaurs began to rise into the giants that still linger in our imaginations. You are drifting deeper with every breath, deeper into calm, deeper into the story of life itself. And as we walk together through this ancient landscape, we will let another handful of facts settle gently upon your mind, each one like a stone placed softly into a river, shaping the flow but never disturbing the silence. The 7th fact glows before you. The Jurassic forests were vast, filled with conifers, ferns, and towering cycads. These forests were the backdrop to the rise of the great sauropods, dinosaurs whose necks stretched toward the treetops, feeding slowly, gently, almost endlessly. Picture a landscape where the trees sway, and among them, these creatures move, silent as shadows, their size immense, but their steps unhurried. There is peace in their rhythm, a reminder that even the largest lives can move softly. The 8th fact to rest within you is about the sauropods themselves. They were the largest land animals ever to live on Earth, some stretching over 30 meters, their necks long as rivers, their bodies heavy as hills. Yet despite their size, their bones were light, filled with air pockets that made them graceful, not clumsy. Imagine bones like hollow reeds, strong yet light, carrying such massive beings. There is a lesson in this. Even the greatest burdens can be lightened by hidden design. Even the heaviest weights can be carried with quiet grace. The 9th fact drifts in gently. Some of the most famous sauropods, like Brachiosaurus, had their front legs longer than their hind legs, allowing their bodies to tilt upward, reaching higher into the trees than others. Imagine one standing beneath a forest canopy, stretching calmly into the leaves, its long neck swaying slowly from side to side, plucking food with a gentleness that belies its size. There is something soothing in picturing this. A creature so massive yet so calm. Its entire life lived in the steady rhythm of grazing. The 10th fact whispers of herds. Sauropods likely did not walk alone, but moved in groups, slowly migrating across plains and forests together. Imagine a herd of giants walking in unison, each step creating a soft tremor, each breath releasing into the air, their bodies moving as one. They were families, protectors, companions to one another, and there is comfort in that image. The safety of togetherness, the reassurance of community. As you rest now, know that you too are never truly alone. The rhythm of life surrounds you as surely as it surrounded them. The 11th fact brings you to the predators of the Jurassic, creatures like Allosaurus, who stalked the forests and plains. Though fierce, they were not constant hunters. They moved with the rhythm of need, feeding and resting, living as all creatures do. Imagine one standing in the distance, watching, breathing, part of the same balance of life that has always existed. Even predators, even fearsome shapes, are part of harmony. They too lived and slept beneath the same stars. They too walked the same earth. The 12th fact shines softly. The world of the Jurassic was warm, humid, and lush. Shallow seas spread across continents, islands dotted the waters, and the climate allowed dinosaurs to thrive across much of the planet. Imagine such a world, where warmth never faded, where greenery was endless, where the earth itself seemed to breathe in abundance. There is a gentleness in that vision, a reminder of how life flourishes when the world is kind. And the 13th fact rests lightly upon you. Even in this age of giants, small dinosaurs continued to thrive. Agile hunters, swift runners, delicate feeders. Not all strength is measured in size. Some is measured in quickness, in adaptation, in subtlety. Picture a small dinosaur darting through the feet of giants, unnoticed, yet thriving. There is comfort in knowing that greatness wears many shapes, and survival belongs to all who adapt, whether towering or small. Now, as these facts linger, feel how softly they settle. They are not heavy, not sharp. They are like stars appearing one by one in a night sky, filling it with light, but not disturbing its stillness. Already we have moved from the fragile dawn of the Triassic into the mighty rise of the Jurassic, and already the weight of the day has dissolved further. Breathe again, deeply. Inhale the warmth of a Jurassic forest. Exhale the quiet of an endless night. Inhale the vastness of giants. Exhale the peace of your own rest. The dinosaurs are walking but softly, and their footsteps are guiding you deeper into calm. Block 4, the age of diversity. The river of time carries us further now, flowing from the vast forests of the Jurassic into an age where dinosaurs became more diverse than ever before. The earth continued to shift, climates changed, seas opened, mountains rose, and across these changes, life responded with endless variety. Dinosaurs, already giants and already swift hunters, began to fill every corner of possibility. Tonight, as you breathe, you will feel this diversity as a gentle unfolding, like petals opening slowly in a night garden. Each fact another flower, another star, another calming rhythm guiding you deeper into rest. The 14th fact arrives softly. Not all dinosaurs were gray, green, or brown, as once imagined. Evidence now suggests that many were brightly colored, some with patterns and feathers that shone in sunlight. Picture a dinosaur covered in iridescent feathers, shimmering like a hummingbird, or striped like a tiger. This new vision does not make them fierce, it makes them beautiful, painting the prehistoric world in hues that calm the imagination. The 15th fact rests beside it. Feathers were not only for flight. Many dinosaurs had feathers for warmth, for display, for balance. Imagine a small raptor with feathers along its arms, not flying but gliding softly from one branch to another. These feathers whisper of softness, of protection, of beauty woven into survival. Even in the ancient world, life cared for itself with warmth and color. The 16th fact drifts like a leaf. Some dinosaurs developed crests, horns, and frills of extraordinary shape. Think of the ceratopsians, like Triceratops, with horns long and strong, yet used not only for defense but for display and communication. Picture a herd standing together, their frills catching the light of the sun, each unique, each speaking without words. There is calm in this image, a reminder that beauty and strength can live together in harmony. The 17th fact glows like twilight. Hadrosaurs, known as the duck-billed dinosaurs, developed elaborate crests that may have allowed them to sing through their skulls, deep resonant calls echoing across plains. Imagine lying in grass as the sound carries, low and haunting, yet soothing, like a distant instrument played beneath the sky. Their voices were part of the music of the earth, and in that music there is rest. The 18th fact whispers of armored dinosaurs, the ankylosaurs covered in plates and spikes, their bodies like living fortresses. Yet despite their armor, they were peaceful, slow-moving, feeding calmly on plants, relying on patience and defense rather than aggression. Picture one moving gently across the ground, sunlight glinting on its plates, its tail heavy yet still. and you will feel how even the strongest protections can also be the calmest. The 19th fact emerges. Diversity meant not only shapes and defenses, but also sizes. From the tiniest dinosaurs no bigger than birds, to the great sauropods that dwarfed all, every size found a place in the great fabric of life. Imagine this tapestry. Small ones darting through ferns, medium ones moving in herds, giants walking with the patience of mountains. Together they created harmony, not competition. Life, in its wisdom, filled every niche. The 20th fact settles upon you gently. The rise of flowering plants during the Cretaceous brought new beauty to the world of dinosaurs. Forests bloomed with color, scents filled the air, and herbivores grazed among blossoms that still echo in the gardens of today. Imagine a triceratops lowering its head to feed among flowers, or a hadrosaur wandering through fields of color. The prehistoric world was not barren or harsh. It was full of life, full of growth, full of gentle abundance. The 21st fact closes this chapter softly. Dinosaurs did not only live in one place, they spread across every continent, from lush equatorial forests to cooler polar regions. Fossils of their bones, footprints, and feathers remind us that they walked everywhere, filling the earth with their presence. Imagine that wherever you are now, beneath the ground, beneath the soil, beneath the stone, their echoes remain. The world itself holds their memory, and by resting tonight, you touch that memory too. As these facts gather, feel them not as weight, but as lightness. They are not demanding, they are not sharp. They are like the drifting of petals across water, like stars added gently to a sky. 101 in total will come, and each one is a step deeper into peace. Already your body is heavier, your eyes softer, your breath slower. The age of diversity carries not noise, but harmony. Not chaos, but balance. Not fear, but calm. Breathe again. Inhale the colors of feathers, crests, flowers. Exhale the silence of ancient plains. The dinosaurs are walking beside you still, and their diversity is your lullaby tonight. Block 5. The Great Sea Reptiles and Flying Lords of the Sky. The story of dinosaurs is not only told upon the land. As the earth unfolded its ages, life spread into every space it could find, into the oceans that covered much of the globe, and into the skies that stretched endlessly above. Tonight, as you drift deeper, let us wander into these other worlds, where creatures just as magnificent as the land dwellers lived and soared. They were not technically dinosaurs, though they shared their age, but they are forever bound to them in memory. The great sea reptiles that ruled the oceans and the flying lords of the sky. Their presence widens the lullaby of this ancient earth, expanding it beyond the forests and plains into the very waters and winds that carried life everywhere. The 22nd fact rises gently. In the seas of the Mesozoic swam the ichthyosaurs, reptiles shaped like dolphins, with sleek bodies and long snouts filled with teeth. They were fast, elegant, and powerful hunters. But in this vision, picture them gliding gracefully through blue waters, their movements smooth as silk, their eyes large and shining. They lived in families, some giving birth to live young in the water, a soft echo of whales to come. Imagine their shapes drifting beneath waves, and you will feel how even the fiercest designs can hold beauty and calm. The 23rd fact glimmers. Plesiosaurs with long necks and paddle-like limbs swam through shallow seas, moving with a grace that made them seem like dancers beneath the waves. Some had necks stretching meters long, bending and swaying like ribbons in water, while their bodies floated smoothly behind. Picture one rising slowly to the surface, its head breaking the water beneath a sunset sky, then sinking again without sound. There is serenity in such a movement, a softness that turns even oceans into cradles of peace. The 24th fact flows in. Pliosaurs, cousins of the plesiosaurs, grew shorter necks but massive jaws, some among the largest predators of their seas. Kronosaurus, one of the most famous, had jaws stretching wide enough to hold a human whole. Yet tonight, you may imagine it gliding through deep water, its massive body moving slowly, steadily, not hunting, not roaring, only drifting, a shadow passing quietly through the blue. Even giants of the sea can be part of silence. The 25th fact drifts upward. Mosasaurs arrived later, in the Cretaceous, and became the true rulers of the sea. With bodies stretching up to 17 meters, tails strong for swimming, and jaws lined with sharp teeth, they were apex predators of their oceans. But imagine one now, suspended in calm waters, its body moving in slow arcs, sunlight filtering through waves above it. It is not attacking, it is resting, and in that rest it becomes part of your rest too. The 26th fact soars overhead. While oceans were filled with reptilian swimmers, the skies above belonged to the pterosaurs, the first vertebrates to conquer flight. Their wings were not like birds, but stretched membranes of skin and muscle, supported by elongated fingers. Some were small, fluttering like bats, while others reached sizes greater than any bird in history. Picture them gliding silently over coastlines, their shadows falling on waves, their wings catching the wind like sails. Their presence adds another layer to the lullaby of Earth, the whisper of air above. The 27th fact glows with awe. Among the pterosaurs was Quetzalcoatlus, with wings spanning over 10 meters, as large as a small aircraft. Imagine it standing on a plane, wings folded like a great cloak, then lifting slowly into the air, gliding silently into the sky. Despite its size, it moved with calm, its flight not frantic but smooth, a reminder that even the greatest creatures can be carried effortlessly by wind. The 28th fact rests with you. Pterosaurs, like modern birds, were likely covered in fine fuzz or filaments that helped keep them warm, some even showing patterns or color. Imagine them not as dark shadows, but as creatures of subtle beauty, their wings painted with hues unseen, their bodies glowing softly in the light of dawn. Their presence reminds us that the ancient world was not only harsh, but beautiful, filled with color, variety, and life. The 29th fact completes this circle. Though sea reptiles and pterosaurs were not true dinosaurs, they lived alongside them, shaped the same world, and filled the same skies and seas. Their stories intertwine, and in remembering them, the memory of dinosaurs is made fuller. Imagine standing on a shore in the late Cretaceous. Behind you, herds of dinosaurs move across plains. Before you, mosasaurs glide beneath waves. Above you, pterosaurs drift against the sky. Land, sea, and air, all filled with life, all woven together into the endless harmony of the earth. As these facts settle, notice how they expand the picture in your mind. You are no longer resting only among forests and plains. You are floating in oceans, gliding in skies, standing upon shores that stretch into eternity. 101 facts will guide you, but you do not need to cling to them. They arrive like waves, like gusts of wind, like drifting stars. Let them pass gently. Inhale the calm of the oceans. Exhale the silence of the skies. Inhale the glide of wings. Exhale the drift of fins. The dinosaurs, the reptiles, the pterosaurs, they are all part of the same lullaby, carrying you deeper, always deeper, into the embrace of night. Block 6, Predators and Prey, the Balance of Life. The story of the dinosaurs, like the story of all life, was written not only in size and color, not only in the quiet majesty of forests and oceans, but also in the balance between hunters and the hunted, in the eternal rhythm of predator and prey. This balance was not chaos, not cruelty, but a cycle that has always existed, a dance that ensured survival, diversity, and change. Tonight, as you sink deeper into calm, you will hear of predators with teeth sharp as knives and herbivores with defenses of horn and armor. Yet you will hear them not in violence, but in harmony. For even the chase, even the roar, even the clash of survival is part of the great music of the earth. And when seen from afar, it becomes not frightening but deeply calming, a rhythm as steady as your own breath. The 30th fact whispers in. Among the most famous predators of the late Cretaceous was Tyrannosaurus rex, the tyrant lizard king. Its jaws were massive, its teeth thick and strong, designed to crush bone. Yet despite its fierce reputation, studies show that it may not have hunted constantly. Many times it likely scavenged, conserving energy, moving slowly through its world. Picture a Tyrannosaurus standing still under the setting sun, not attacking, not roaring, but breathing, watching, waiting. Even the fiercest figures had long stretches of quiet. The 31st fact settles beside it. The prey of such predators were often herds of large herbivores, hadrosaurs with duck-shaped bills, ceratopsians with horns, ankylosaurs with armored backs. These creatures did not live in fear alone. They thrived, moved together, and filled the world with their calm presence. Imagine a herd of triceratops grazing quietly in a flowering meadow, their horns glinting softly, their frills catching the light. Around them, young walk safely in the center. Adults watch the edges, and the entire herd moves like a single body, steady and sure. The 32nd fact rests gently. Ankylosaurs, with their heavy armor and great tail clubs, remind us that prey are not helpless. These dinosaurs were built like fortresses, moving slowly yet steadily, their defenses making them almost untouchable. Picture one standing under a tree, chewing calmly at ferns, its tail resting heavy behind, its armor shining faintly in the light of dusk. There is calm in its stillness, a strength that requires no noise. The 33rd fact glimmers. Predators themselves often lived not alone but in balance with one another. In the Jurassic, Allosaurus may have hunted in groups, coordinating their movements. Imagine several of them circling slowly, their steps deliberate, their eyes steady, their movements not frantic but rhythmic. They lived by patterns, by instincts that were part of the greater web of life. Even in the hunt, there was structure, there was calm. The 34th fact arrives. Many herbivores developed not only physical defenses but social strategies. Herds of hadrosaurs likely communicated with deep calls, warning one another of danger, gathering close when threatened. Picture their voices echoing across plains, low and resonant, like horns sounding in fog. The sound was not only alarm, it was connection, unity, reassurance. In their calls lived the same bond that ties families together, keeping them safe in the vastness of Earth. The 35th fact rests like a stone in a river. The balance between predator and prey kept ecosystems strong. If predators vanished, herbivores would grow too numerous, stripping the land. If prey vanished, predators would fall. The balance was fragile, yet it endured for millions of years, longer than humans have existed. Imagine this balance as a seesaw, always shifting, never still, yet always finding its center again. This is not chaos, but harmony. The 36th fact whispers of camouflage. Many dinosaurs, large and small, likely carried colors and patterns that helped them blend into their worlds. Stripes to break their outline, muted tones to vanish among ferns. Imagine a raptor crouched in tall grass, invisible in stillness. Imagine a hadrosaur hidden in dappled forest shade. These adaptations were not battles but quiet strategies, gentle whispers of survival written in color. And the 37th fact to close this chapter softly: even predators slept. Even the mightiest hunters needed rest, needed silence, needed renewal. Picture a Tyrannosaurus lying down, its eyes closing, its breath slowing, the great muscles of its body relaxing into earth. In that moment, it was not king, not terror, not hunter. It was simply a living being, vulnerable and calm, carried into dreams like you are now. As these facts gather, feel how they shift the image of dinosaurs away from noise and toward balance. Predator and prey were not locked in endless chaos. They were participants in the same ancient song, a song of survival, a song of change, a song that lasted longer than anything humans have yet created. Tonight, you are not listening to roars. You are listening to rhythm. You are not watching battles. You are watching harmony. Inhale, and you feel the strength of the hunter. Exhale, and you feel the calm of the herd. Inhale, the balance of life. Exhale, the surrender to sleep. The dinosaurs lived in harmony, and in that harmony, you rest. Block 7, the world they lived in. The world of the dinosaurs was not only shaped by their bodies, their colors, or their balance of predator and prey. It was also shaped by the earth itself, an earth that looked both familiar and utterly strange, a planet in motion, restless in its continents, vibrant in its climates, endlessly shifting. Tonight, as your breathing grows slower, as your body grows heavier against the quiet of your bed, let us drift together into the landscapes of their time, the mountains they saw, the seas that touched their shores, the skies that arched above them. For the world they lived in was a cradle, and within it, life thrived in harmony. The 38th fact whispers first. During the age of the dinosaurs, the continents were not as they are now. In the Triassic, Jurassic, and even into the Cretaceous, they were still joined together in great supercontinents like Pangaea, and later Gondwana and Laurasia. Imagine one vast land stretching across the globe, deserts rolling for endless miles, mountains rising like titans, and forests spreading without end. Picture the herds of dinosaurs walking freely across these unbroken lands, their migrations unimpeded, their lives flowing with the shape of Earth itself. The 39th fact drifts in. The climate of much of the Mesozoic was warmer than today, with no ice at the poles, with lush vegetation thriving in places now cold and barren. Imagine tropical forests stretching even into polar regions. Imagine dinosaurs living where snow falls today, their worlds rich with green. The Earth was alive in warmth, a greenhouse planet, abundant with growth. There is calm in that vision, a world wrapped in constant summer, where life could flourish everywhere. The 40th fact glimmers softly. Shallow seas spread across the continents, creating inland oceans that divided lands and nurtured marine life. The Western Interior Seaway, in the late Cretaceous, split North America in two, filling it with mosasaurs, plesiosaurs, and ammonites. Picture standing on a shoreline in what is now the center of a continent, and before you, waves stretch endlessly, carrying the whispers of creatures long vanished. The sound of those waves was the same rhythm you hear now, the steady rise and fall, the eternal music of water. The 41st fact arrives like a gentle breeze. The skies of the Mesozoic were not empty. They carried clouds shaped by warm oceans, winds that stretched across supercontinents, and the silent flight of pterosaurs gliding from coast to coast. Imagine looking up and seeing wings that spanned wider than trees, moving without effort, riding thermals into endless skies. The air itself was part of their world, and in your imagination, it can be part of your calm tonight. The 42nd fact rests like a stone. Volcanoes shaped the landscapes constantly. Massive eruptions split continents, built mountains, and poured lava into seas. Yet even these were part of balance, for the ash enriched the soils, feeding forests, and the mountains created valleys where rivers flowed. Life did not fear the Earth's restlessness. It grew because of it. Picture forests sprouting upon fresh lava fields, green against black, resilience painted across the planet. The 43rd fact glows like twilight. Flowering plants appeared and spread during the Cretaceous, transforming landscapes forever. Meadows filled with color, forests buzzed with insects, and fruits nourished new creatures. Imagine dinosaurs walking through fields dotted with blossoms, bending to feed upon leaves while butterflies drifted above. The world was not only harsh, it was beautiful, adorned with life's decorations. The 44th fact whispers gently. Some dinosaurs lived in polar regions where months of darkness would fall, followed by months of light. Yet even there they endured, adapting to cycles of shadow and glow. Imagine a herd moving under the soft shimmer of auroras, the sky alive with light above their backs. This vision reminds you that life can adapt even to extremes, that balance can be found even in silence and shadow. And the 45th fact rests softly upon you. The Earth of the dinosaurs was in motion, its continents drifting apart, its oceans widening, its mountains rising. This motion never ceased, and even now the Earth continues to shift. The world you know is still moving, still changing, still alive. There is comfort in knowing that change is the nature of the planet, that we are always carried forward by its slow dance, just as the dinosaurs were. As these facts settle into your mind, notice how they do not demand, they do not push. They drift over you like clouds. They roll past like waves. They glow faintly like stars. The world of the dinosaurs was vast, abundant, alive with warmth and motion. Tonight you walk through it in imagination, but you do not need to hold every detail. You need only to feel its calm, its harmony, its rhythm. Inhale, the warmth of endless summer. Exhale, the silence of ancient seas. Inhale, the vastness of continents. Exhale, the slow drift of time. The world they lived in surrounds you now, carrying you deeper into rest, deeper into sleep. Block 8. The gentle giants of the Cretaceous. The story of the dinosaurs moves gently now into the Cretaceous, the last and longest chapter of their reign, when life upon Earth had reached extraordinary variety, when herds filled the plains, when forests bloomed with new plants and flowers, and when creatures of strength and beauty lived side by side. Tonight, as your breath slows, as your eyes grow heavier, let us wander softly among the gentle giants of this age, creatures whose presence was not thunderous but calm, whose lives were lived in steady rhythms of grazing, moving, protecting, and enduring. These giants were not always the tallest or the heaviest, but they were the guardians of the Cretaceous, shaping the land with their steps, filling the air with their presence, and leaving behind whispers that guide us even now. The 46th fact arrives first. Triceratops, one of the most iconic dinosaurs, carried 3 great horns upon its head and a wide frill at the back of its skull. Yet despite its armor, it was a peaceful herbivore, moving slowly across meadows, lowering its beak to pull at plants. Picture one standing beneath a sunlit sky, its horns catching the light, its frill patterned like a shield, its body calm and steady. Though strong enough to defend itself, its life was filled more with grazing than with battle. In its patience, it teaches you the same, that peace is strength and calm is power. The 47th fact glows softly. Hadrosaurs, often called duck-billed dinosaurs, were among the most common of the Cretaceous. They lived in great herds, filling valleys with their presence, moving together like rivers of life. Some carried elaborate crests upon their heads, hollow structures that may have allowed them to make deep, resonant calls, echoing like horns across the land. Imagine lying upon grass while such sounds drift low and calming, vibrating through the earth like distant music. Their voices were lullabies written by evolution itself. The 48th fact rests gently. Ankylosaurs were the tanks of the Cretaceous, their bodies covered in heavy plates of bone, their tails ending in great clubs. Yet despite their fearsome appearance, they were quiet grazers, slow and deliberate, feeding close to the ground. Picture one moving through ferns, its armored back glinting, its tail dragging heavily, its head lowered in silence. Its defenses were always ready, yet its spirit was always calm. There is comfort in such an image, a creature safe within itself, needing no aggression to endure. The 49th fact shines like twilight. Ceratopsians, the family that included Triceratops, came in many shapes and sizes, with frills and horns of endless variety. Some frills were decorated with bright colors, perhaps used in displays to attract mates or signal their strength. Imagine a herd of them standing together, their frills glowing in morning light, each unique yet united, each a quiet symbol of diversity. Their beauty was not for battle, but for life itself, a celebration written in bone and color. The 50th fact floats in. Many of the herbivores of the Cretaceous moved in massive herds, numbering in the hundreds or thousands. Picture plains filled with hadrosaurs grazing shoulder to shoulder, the ground trembling not with chaos, but with rhythm, a steady beat of life moving forward. Young ones nestled in the safety of the herd, older ones guided their way, and the entire group lived as one. There is peace in such unity, a reminder that even in vast numbers, life can move gently, calmly, together. The 51st fact settles softly. Sauropods, though rarer in the Cretaceous than in the Jurassic, still wandered the earth, including giants like Dinosaurs, perhaps the heaviest land animal ever to live. Imagine its massive body moving slowly across a landscape, its long neck swaying gently as it reached for treetops, its steps steady as the turning of the earth itself. Despite its size, it lived in calm, feeding endlessly, harming none, embodying patience. In its presence, even the world seemed to slow. The 52nd fact glows. Not all gentle giants lived in open plains. Some lived in forests, quietly moving among trees, feeding upon ferns and flowering plants. Picture the light of the sun breaking through leaves, falling across the patterned skin of a hadrosaur, or the armored back of an ankylosaur. The forest embraced them, just as they shaped it with their feeding. Life and environment, creature and world, existed in harmony. The 53rd fact to close this chapter whispers, though predators roamed the land, though storms swept the skies, though the earth was never still, these gentle giants endured for millions of years. Their presence shaped ecosystems, their movements carried life forward, and their bones remain as silent witnesses to their calm. Tonight, imagine yourself among them, walking beside herds of hadrosaurs, resting beneath the shadow of a triceratops, breathing with the slow rhythm of an Dinosaurus. Their peace becomes your peace, their endurance your rest, their silence your sleep. As these facts drift over you, notice how your body grows heavier, how your breath grows deeper, how your mind grows quieter. You are no longer thinking of lists or numbers. You are wandering through plains and forests, surrounded by giants who move gently, who live peacefully, who remind you that the greatest strength is found not in struggle, but in calm. Inhale, and you walk with them. Exhale, and you rest with them. Inhale, the weight of ancient herds. Exhale, the release of your own. The gentle giants of the Cretaceous surround you, carrying you further into night. Block 9, Small Wonders of the Dinosaur World. Not every dinosaur was a giant. Not every figure towered over trees or cast shadows like mountains. Many were small, delicate, swift, and light. Creatures that darted through ferns, perched upon branches, or ran like whispers across the land. These small wonders remind us that size is not the measure of importance, that even the tiniest shapes carried beauty, resilience, and life's endless creativity. Tonight, as your body grows heavier and your eyelids lower, let us walk softly among them, noticing how their presence was as vital as the giants, how their steps were as steady as the earth itself, how their existence brings calm even now. The 54th fact whispers first. One of the smallest dinosaurs ever discovered is Microraptor, a creature no larger than a crow, with feathers along its arms and legs, giving it the ability to glide from tree to tree. Imagine it leaping gently, its wings opening like quiet fans, its body floating softly through air, landing without sound. Its presence was not fierce, but graceful, a reminder that even in prehistory, there were creatures as light and silent as birds in your garden today. The 55th fact drifts in. Compsognathus, often depicted as a tiny hunter, grew little more than the size of a chicken. With slender limbs and quick steps, it ran lightly through its world, searching for insects and small prey. Picture it darting through grasses, pausing, tilting its head curiously, then vanishing into shadows. Its life was swift, but its image is soothing, fragile, fleeting, part of the quiet hum of life. The 56th fact glows softly. Archaeopteryx, the famous first bird, was small, feathered, and delicate, bridging the world of dinosaurs and modern birds. Its wings carried feathers nearly identical to those of today, its body light enough to glide. Imagine it resting upon a branch, feathers glowing faintly in the light of dawn, its call gentle, its movements slow. It was both dinosaur and bird, both ancient and familiar, a living whisper across time. The 57th fact rests gently. Some small herbivores, like Hypsilophodon, moved in groups, darting through forests with quick steps, feeding quietly upon plants. They were agile, social, and cautious, surviving not by strength but by speed and awareness. Imagine them moving together, their bodies blending into the rhythm of the forest, their lives simple and swift. Their calm is in their unity, their beauty in their fragility. The 58th fact flows in. Oviraptor, despite its fierce name meaning egg thief, was small and bird-like, with feathers, a beak, and delicate limbs. Fossils show it preserved in the act of guarding its nest, wings spread over eggs like a blanket. Imagine such care, a parent watching over its young, shielding them from harm, enduring through devotion. This image carries warmth, the tenderness of life, the love written into survival, the calm of protection. The 59th fact glimmers like starlight. Some of the smallest dinosaurs left footprints barely larger than a coin. These tracks, preserved for millions of years, remind us that even the tiniest lives leave marks that endure. Picture them stamped into soft mud, later hardened into stone, carried across time to reach us now. They are not lost, they are still here, like gentle signatures upon Earth's memory. The 60th fact settles softly. Many of these small dinosaurs were feathered, their bodies warm, their forms colorful, their movements light. They chirped, sang, cared for their young, and filled the air with sound as much as movement. Imagine lying in a prehistoric meadow, hearing the faint trills and calls of small dinosaurs in the grass, their voices blending with the whisper of wind. It is not a world of roaring, but of gentle sound, a lullaby written in feathers and breath. As these small wonders gather around you, feel how they shift the vision of the dinosaur world from giants to delicacy, from mountains to whispers. They remind you that greatness is not only in size, but in grace, in care, in persistence. 101 facts will come, and among them these tiny ones shine softly, like stars scattered among larger constellations. Inhale, and you feel their lightness. Exhale, and you feel your own burdens release. Inhale, the flutter of feathers. Exhale, the silence of grass. The small wonders of the dinosaur world drift beside you now, carrying you deeper into the night. Block 10. The mystery of dinosaur eggs and nests. Among the most soothing truths of the dinosaur world is that they, too, were parents. They, too, carried life forward in delicate shells, watching over nests, protecting their young, ensuring that the story of their kind would continue across generations. The mystery of dinosaur eggs and nests connects us not only to the creatures of the past, but also to the rhythms of life we still know today, rhythms of care, birth, and renewal. Tonight, as your breathing slows, as your mind drifts like a feather upon still water, let us wander gently into this secret world, where eggs lay hidden in sand and soil, where tiny lives stirred within, where parents stood silently to guard them, and where the cycle of survival whispered across ages. The 61st fact arrives softly. Many dinosaurs laid eggs in nests arranged carefully, often in circular patterns. Fossilized nests show rows of eggs placed with intention, not scattered but organized, as though the parents understood the importance of care and balance. Picture such a nest now, shallow in the ground, filled with smooth oval shapes, warmed by sun and soil. Within each shell, life grows silently, tiny hearts beating in rhythm with the earth. The 62nd fact rests like a stone. Some dinosaurs, like the great sauropods, likely laid dozens of eggs at once, small compared to their size, yet placed in clusters that increased the chance of survival. Imagine a massive Argentinosaurus lowering itself gently to deposit eggs, each one fragile, each one precious, then moving away to let the earth protect them. Even giants began life small, wrapped in fragility, dependent on chance and care. The 63rd fact glimmers. Smaller dinosaurs, such as oviraptorids, often stayed with their nests, fossils showing adults preserved in the act of brooding, wings spread across eggs to shield them. One such fossil, forever frozen in stone, shows the devotion of a parent caught in time, unwilling to leave even in death. Picture this image as tenderness itself, a creature resting above fragile shells, its body curved like a blanket, its devotion silent but eternal. The 64th fact flows gently. Eggshells of dinosaurs were often porous, allowing air to flow, letting tiny lives breathe and grow. The texture of the shells, preserved in fossils, shows delicate patterns, like lace woven in stone. Imagine running your fingers across such a shell, feeling the soft ridges, the design shaped by nature to protect and sustain. Within it lies not only life but art, not only survival, but beauty. The 65th fact whispers, some dinosaurs built nesting colonies, where dozens or hundreds of nests gathered together, communities of life and protection. Fossils of hadrosaurs reveal nesting grounds stretching wide, with evidence that parents may have returned year after year to the same place, as birds do today. Imagine standing within such a colony, the air filled with the soft calls of parents, the quiet cracking of eggs, the first breaths of countless young. It is not a place of noise, but of gentle wonder. The 66th fact rests softly. Newborn dinosaurs, called hatchlings, often stayed in the nest for days or weeks, dependent on parents for warmth and protection. Some were born with legs too weak to walk far, others with beaks not yet strong enough to feed alone. Parents stood guard, patient and steady, teaching survival through presence. Picture small shapes nestled under wings, eyes blinking in first light, breath shallow but steady. Their world was new, but their safety was ancient. The 67th fact drifts in. Not all young survived, and yet the cycle continued. Fossilized remains show both fragile beginnings and enduring successes. The truth of life is not in perfection, but in persistence, in the endless rhythm of birth and renewal. The dinosaurs lived this truth as we do, through care, through loss, through endurance. And the 68th fact closes this chapter gently. Though millions of years have passed, birds today still echo the mysteries of their ancestors. Their nests, their eggs, their brooding, their care are living connections to the dinosaurs who came before. Every robin on a branch, every gull on a shore, every penguin guarding its egg is a reminder that the story never ended, that the love of life flows on. As these facts settle, imagine yourself near such a nest. The air warm, the ground soft, the eggs glowing faintly in the light of dawn. You do not disturb them. You only watch, breathing slowly, resting in the calm of their presence. Life stirs within, but it does not rush. It grows in silence, in patience, in care. Inhale, and you feel the promise of new life. Exhale, and you release the weight of the day. The nests of dinosaurs whisper across time, reminding you that life is fragile, and yet life endures. Block 11, the strange and the unusual. The world of the dinosaurs was not only filled with giants and herds, not only with predators and prey, not only with the delicate balance of nests and eggs. It was also filled with shapes so strange, appearances so unusual, that they feel like dreams written into stone. These dinosaurs remind us that life is endlessly creative, that nature experiments without fear, and that beauty is often found in the unexpected. Tonight, as your body sinks deeper into rest, let us wander quietly among these wonders, each one a gentle reminder that strangeness can also soothe, that the unusual can bring calm, that mystery itself can be a lullaby. The 69th fact arrives softly. Dinosaurus, a dinosaur with claws longer than swords, some reaching over 1 meter in length. Its body was bird-like, with feathers, its head small and delicate, its diet likely herbivorous. Despite its terrifying claws, it was not a predator of flesh but a feeder on plants, using its long arms to pull branches close. Imagine it standing calmly in a forest, its claws reaching like curved moons, its body swaying gently as it grazes. What appears frightening becomes peaceful when seen in truth. The 70th fact drifts in. Pachycephalosaurus, known for its dome-shaped skull, thick and rounded, sometimes more than 20 centimeters of solid bone. Some believe they used these domes for headbutting contests, but others suggest they may have been for display, for recognition, or for unknown purposes. Picture a small herd moving through grasslands, the sun glinting softly on their rounded heads, their movements calm, their presence steady. Their strangeness becomes serenity, their uniqueness a quiet beauty. The 71st fact rests gently. Ankylosaurus, with its heavily armored back and massive clubbed tail, looked like a living tank. Yet it was slow, deliberate, and peaceful, feeding on low plants, harming none unless threatened. Picture one moving under a dawn sky, its armor shining like dew-covered stone, its tail dragging like a pendulum. Its strength lay not in violence, but in quiet endurance. The 72nd fact glimmers. Parasaurolophus, with its long, curved crest extending backward from its head, a structure that may have allowed it to produce haunting, resonant sounds. Imagine a group of them standing together at dusk, their calls rising into the sky like distant horns, deep and echoing, soothing rather than alarming. Their music was part of the earth, part of the night, a sound that calmed their kind as it calms you now. The 73rd fact flows softly. Stygimoloch, with its spiky head crowned by horns and bumps, looked like something from a dream or a painting of myth. Yet it too was small, likely herbivorous, moving quietly among plants, its fierce appearance hiding a gentle life. Picture it stepping carefully through ferns, its spikes catching faint light, its body silent and steady. What looks like chaos becomes order. What looks frightening becomes calm. The 74th fact rests like a stone in water. Amargasaurus, a sauropod with 2 rows of tall spines running down its neck and back, perhaps covered in skin to form sails or used for display. Imagine this giant moving across a plain, its spines glowing faintly in sunset light, its neck swaying slowly, its steps like deep drum beats. It was not a monster, but a marvel, carrying uniqueness as part of its calm presence. The 75th fact glows softly. Cretaceous, another crested hadrosaur, bore a crest shaped like a helmet, hollow and connected to its nasal passages. Like Parasaurolophus, it likely produced low calls, resonant and deep. Picture standing in a forest as their voices echo like soft instruments, blending with wind through trees. Their strangeness was music, their oddity was harmony, their unusual shapes were lullabies written in bone. And the 76th fact closes this chapter gently. Strangeness was everywhere in the dinosaur world. Horns, frills, spines, sails, domes, crests, claws, each shape a creation of time, each one a solution for survival, each one a symbol of life's creativity. Imagine walking through such a world, where every turn revealed another form, another wonder, another mystery. It is not frightening, it is soothing, because it reminds you that the earth itself is a dreamer, always imagining, always reshaping. As these unusual forms drift into your mind, notice how they do not disturb your calm, but deepen it. They are not roars, but whispers, not chaos, but curiosity. Inhale, and you feel the creativity of Earth. Exhale, and you feel your own strangeness softened into beauty. Inhale, the claws, the domes, the crests. Exhale the calm of their presence. The strange and the unusual are part of the lullaby too, carrying you further, always further, into the quiet of sleep. Block 12, the feathered connection. The more we learn about dinosaurs, the more we discover that their world was not one of scales alone, but one adorned with softness, with warmth, with feathers that carried both beauty and survival. The connection between dinosaurs and the birds that fly above us today is not imagination, but truth written in stone, in fossils that preserve delicate traces of filaments and feathers, in skeletons that echo the same design as sparrows and eagles. Tonight, as you drift further into calm, let us walk softly into this revelation, that the sky outside your window still carries the whispers of the dinosaur age, and that every feather drifting in air is a memory of the past, alive in the present. The 77th fact settles gently. Fossils of Sinosauropteryx discovered in China revealed simple feathers along its body, not for flight but for warmth. These soft filaments, preserved after millions of years, showed that feathers began not as wings but as coats, wrapping small dinosaurs in protection. Imagine one curled in its nest, feathers glowing faintly in the light of dawn, body warm, life carried forward by softness. The 78th fact drifts in. Microraptor, with feathers on all four limbs, could glide from tree to tree, its body shaped for silent leaps through forests. Picture it spreading its feathered arms, drifting like a leaf upon the air, landing gently upon a branch. Its feathers made it not only a hunter but a creature of grace, its movements calm, its presence like a shadow in twilight. The 79th fact glimmers. Anchiornis, another feathered dinosaur, preserved so well that scientists have even reconstructed its colors, black and white wings with splashes of red upon its head, a pattern as vivid as any bird today. Imagine it perched upon a rock, feathers ruffling in the wind, its colors glowing softly. The Cretaceous was not dull. It was alive with hues, with patterns, with beauty written in feathers. The 80th fact rests softly. Some larger dinosaurs too carried feathers. Uteranus, a cousin of Tyrannosaurus, bore a coat of long filamentous feathers, even as a predator. Imagine a massive shape walking slowly through forest shadows, not covered in cold scales but in soft down. Its body warmed, its presence both fierce and gentle. Feathers did not belong only to the small. They belonged to the mighty too. The 81st fact flows like a breeze. Feathers served many purposes beyond warmth. For display, for camouflage, for attracting mates, for signaling danger. Picture a small raptor fanning its feathers in sunlight, colors shimmering like fire, not in aggression but in beauty. Feathers were language, silent but expressive, the Earth's way of painting life with endless designs. The 82nd fact glows. Fossilized feathers have preserved microscopic structures called melanosomes, which reveal colors. Through them, we now know some dinosaurs wore patterns of stripes, spots, and iridescent hues. Imagine standing in a meadow as a feathered dinosaur passes, its body glowing with subtle shades, its feathers catching light like jewels. Even in silence, it was radiant, a living canvas of Earth's creativity. The 83rd fact whispers, the very wings of modern birds are the legacy of dinosaurs. The same bones in a pigeon's wing once formed the arms of a raptor, the same structure reshaped but not erased. Every bird that glides across a sky carries within its wings the echoes of ancient forests and plains. Imagine watching a bird outside your window, knowing you are watching a dinosaur in disguise, a living thread between past and present. The 84th fact rests. Nests of feathered dinosaurs show parents brooding much like birds do now, wings stretched to cover eggs, feathers forming blankets of safety. This image, carried forward into robins and penguins and swallows, is one of eternal care. Picture such a scene, a parent wrapping its young in warmth, its feathers soft against fragile shells. This care has not vanished. It has simply continued, unbroken, across millions of years. And the 85th fact, to close this chapter, whispers of wonder. Every feather drifting in wind today is a survivor of the dinosaur age. Each sparrow, each crow, each eagle, each hummingbird is a living memory of creatures long gone. The birds that sing at dawn are not only birds, they are the last dinosaurs still filling the earth with life, still carrying the sky with their voices. As these facts drift into you, feel how they transform your vision of dinosaurs. They are not only heavy shapes upon the ground, but soft forms covered in warmth, glowing with color, whispering through feathers. Inhale, and you feel the softness of plumage. Exhale, and you feel the calm of flight. Inhale, the warmth of feathers wrapping life. Exhale, the silence of birds at night. The feathered connection surrounds you, reminding you that life never truly ends. It only transforms, softly, beautifully, eternally. Block 13. The Dinosaurs of Water and Air. The story of the dinosaurs was not limited to the plains or forests, nor only to the nests they guarded, or the giants that wandered the land. Many of them lived near rivers and lakes, wading through water, fishing with long jaws, or gliding above wetlands where their calls echoed across reeds. Some found their lives shaped by air, not only in the wings of the pterosaurs who truly mastered flight, but in their own connection to skies, sounds, and winds. Tonight, as you rest deeper, let us wander into these watery and airy places where dinosaurs touched both the ground and the elements above and around them. The 86th fact ripples first. Spinosaurus, one of the most remarkable of all, lived partly in water, with a long, crocodile-like snout filled with conical teeth. It hunted fish in rivers and lakes. Its back carried a sail of tall spines, rising like a great fin above its body. Imagine it wading silently through shallow water, its reflection broken by ripples, its jaws lowering to catch a fish with precision. Not a roar, but a quiet splash, a calm predator shaped by rivers. The 87th fact drifts in. Baryonyx, another fish eater, carried long claws and a narrow snout. Fossils of its stomach reveal fish remains, proof of its watery diet. Picture it standing at the edge of a lake, dipping its head slowly, pulling food from the surface like a heron. Its life was patient, its strength steady, its movements slow. Water shaped it into balance. The 88th fact glimmers softly. Wetlands and riverbanks were filled with hadrosaurs, their herds moving to feed on lush plants that grew near water. Imagine hundreds of them grazing quietly at dawn, their bills dipping into vegetation, their bodies mirrored in the calm surface of a lake. Around them, young follow close, predators watch from a distance, but the herd continues in rhythm, feeding, moving, resting. The sound is not thunder, but gentle, soft steps, low calls, water lapping against reeds. The 89th fact flows like a breeze. Some smaller dinosaurs likely perched among branches above rivers, leaping down upon insects or darting across shallow streams. Picture a feathered raptor gliding from one branch to another, its wings spread, landing softly near water, its reflection glowing faintly in the stream. In this image, dinosaurs are not distant monsters, but creatures woven into the same calm tapestry that birds weave now. The 90th fact soars. Pterosaurs, though not true dinosaurs, filled the skies above lakes and coasts, diving for fish, their wings cutting through air. Some were small, fluttering like bats, while others were immense, their wings stretching wider than gliders. Imagine them wheeling above water, their shadows gliding across waves, their beaks dipping into surface, then lifting again. Their flight was not frantic but calm, steady, written into the wind. The 91st fact rests softly. Wetlands and lakes were also nurseries, places where nests could be hidden among reeds, where young could be fed in relative safety. Fossil sites reveal entire communities near water, signs of life gathered around the same resource. Imagine the air filled with soft calls, water rippling with movement, plants swaying gently. Life clustered here, not in chaos but in harmony. The 92nd fact shimmers. Many dinosaurs, like birds today, likely used water for drinking, bathing, cooling. Picture a triceratops lowering its head to drink, ripples spreading slowly outward, its reflection steady, the moment timeless. Water has always been life's mirror, and the dinosaurs gazed into it just as we do now. And the 93rd fact, to close this chapter, whispers of skies again. While water shaped the diets and habits of many, the air above carried their calls, their signals, their presence. Herds communicated across valleys with low voices. Predators announced themselves with deep roars, and feathered ones filled air with softer sounds. Imagine lying upon the ground in such a world, hearing water lap and air hum, the voices of Earth itself soothing you into stillness. As these facts gather, let them drift over you like ripples, like breezes. They are not sharp, not demanding. They flow and fade, leaving calm behind. Inhale, and you feel the stillness of rivers. Exhale, and you feel the openness of skies. Inhale, the calm of water. Exhale, the peace of air. Dinosaurs lived not only upon the ground, but within all elements. And tonight those elements carry you deeper into rest. Block 14, the intelligence of dinosaurs. The dinosaurs were not only bodies of bone and muscle, not only horns and claws, not only sails and feathers. Within their skulls lay brains, organs of thought and instinct, guiding them through forests and plains, shaping their survival and their social lives. Intelligence among dinosaurs came in many forms, from simple reactions to signs of planning, from solitary hunters to social herds that moved as one. Tonight, as your breathing slows, let us drift gently into the quiet truth of their minds, imagining not chaos but calm, not fear but focus, not confusion but steady awareness. The 94th fact whispers first. Some of the smallest dinosaurs, such as Troodon, carried proportionally large brains for their body size, suggesting keen senses and quick thinking. Picture one standing in moonlight, tilting its head as though listening, its eyes bright, its mind sharp. Its intelligence was not noise but quiet awareness, tuned to every shift in its world. The 95th fact drifts in. Many herbivores relied upon social intelligence, moving in groups, protecting one another, communicating with sounds and signals. Hadrosaurs, with their hollow crests, may have produced a wide variety of calls, each one carrying meaning. Imagine a herd gathered in twilight, their voices rising low and resonant, the air vibrating softly. Their language was not words but connection, and that connection was survival. The 96th fact glows softly. Ceratopsians, like Triceratops, may have used their frills and horns not only for defense but for recognition, to know one another, to display strength without battle. Picture two lowering their heads, not to fight but to acknowledge, their frills glowing faintly in dusk light. Intelligence lies not always in fighting, but in avoiding it. Their minds guided them toward balance, not destruction. The 97th fact rests gently. Predators, too, showed signs of intelligence. Fossils of trackways suggest that some may have hunted in coordinated groups, moving together, surrounding prey. Imagine 3 or 4 raptors moving silently through ferns, each one aware of the others, each step in rhythm, their minds linked by instinct and awareness. This was not chaos but choreography, life moving like a dance. The 98th fact flows. The size of brains varied widely. Some, like Stegosaurus, had small brains compared to body size, yet this did not mean stupidity. They lived for millions of years, adapting, surviving, thriving. Intelligence wears many forms, not always in planning, sometimes in resilience, sometimes in patience. Picture one moving slowly through ferns, steady, unhurried, its life successful simply by being. There is calm in this truth. The 99th fact glimmers. The sense of smell in some dinosaurs, particularly large predators, was highly developed, guiding them across landscapes. Their intelligence was not only in vision or sound, but in scent, in awareness of what could not be seen. Imagine a Tyrannosaurus lifting its head, nostrils flaring in the wind, sensing the presence of herds miles away. Not frantic, not rushing, simply aware, simply present. The 100th fact rests. Bird-like dinosaurs, ancestors of the species that fill skies today, showed behaviors of nesting, brooding, and care. Their intelligence was in nurturing, in protecting eggs, in guarding young. Picture an oviraptorid with wings spread wide, head low, guarding fragile shells. Its devotion is intelligence too, for what is wisdom without care? And the 101st fact, to close this chapter softly, intelligence is not a contest of numbers, not a ladder where some climb higher than others. It is a spectrum of awareness, of adaptation, of resilience. The dinosaurs, in their variety, carried intelligence enough to survive for over 160 million years. Imagine that span of time, longer than the rise of mammals, longer than all of human history multiplied many times. Their minds, simple or sharp, were enough for their world. And in that truth lies peace, that life does not need to be perfect, only present, only steady, only enduring. As these facts gather, notice how they drift not as lessons but as whispers, not as demands but as reassurances. The dinosaurs were aware, they were connected, they were alive in mind as well as body. Inhale, and you feel their awareness. Exhale, and you release your own thoughts. Inhale, the sharpness of instinct. Exhale, the calm of endurance. The intelligence of dinosaurs rests with you tonight, carrying you further into the stillness of sleep. Block 15, the end of an era. Every story has its closing chapter, and the story of the dinosaurs is no different. For more than 160 million years they ruled the earth, filling forests and plains, rivers and skies. They thrived in numbers and in variety, in shapes beyond imagination, in herds that shook the ground and in small ones that darted like shadows. But their world, vast and alive, reached its end in an event sudden and final, one that reshaped life on Earth forever. Tonight, as your body rests deeper and your thoughts grow quieter, let us wander gently through the closing of their age, not in fear, not in chaos, but in acceptance. The acceptance that every era has its time, and every ending is also a beginning. The 102nd fact settles first. About 66 million years ago, the Cretaceous period ended with a cataclysmic event. A massive asteroid, more than 10 kilometers across, struck the Earth near what is now the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, creating the Chicxulub crater. Imagine the moment not with noise but with distance. A bright flash far away, a tremor that spread outward, the Earth shifting. It was not anger but change, written in stone and fire. The 103rd fact drifts in. The impact released energy equal to billions of nuclear bombs, sending dust and debris high into the atmosphere. The skies darkened, the warmth of the sun dimmed, and the earth grew cold. Picture a sky filled not with blue but with twilight, a soft gray curtain hanging for months, then years. The dinosaurs, once thriving in endless warmth, faced silence, shadows, and chill. The 104th fact glimmers. Forests withered, plants died, and the chains of life broke. Herbivores found little to eat, predators found little to hunt, and the balance that had endured for millions of years faltered. Imagine herds standing still in barren fields, their breath visible in the cold, their eyes searching for food that was no longer there. It is not chaos that lingers in this vision, but quiet, the stillness of an ending. The 105th fact rests. Some creatures survived. Mammals, birds, small reptiles, those who could adapt to cold, to hunger, to darkness. The age of dinosaurs gave way to the age of mammals, and in time to us. Imagine small shapes scurrying through fallen leaves, enduring as giants fell. Life is not ended by endings. It transforms, it continues, it finds new paths. The 106th fact whispers, the great dinosaurs, the giants, the herds, the predators of old, disappeared from Earth. Yet their legacy did not vanish. Birds are their living descendants. their wings still echoing the movements of feathered ancestors, their songs still carrying voices of the past. When you hear a bird in morning light, you are hearing not only the present, but the last whisper of an ancient world. The 107th fact glows softly. The Chicxulub impact was not only an ending, but also the reason mammals rose, the reason humans exist, the reason we can sit beneath the night sky and wonder. The end of dinosaurs opened space for another story, another era, another chance for life to speak. Imagine the Earth as a book, each chapter giving way to the next, each page carrying echoes of what came before. And the 108th fact to close this chapter reminds us that dinosaurs ruled longer than we have yet existed. Their reign measured not in centuries or millennia, but in millions of years. They endured storms, eruptions, shifts of continents, and changes of seas. Their end was sudden, but their story was vast, their presence eternal. Tonight, as you rest, remember that endings are not defeats, but transitions, and that the Earth always carries life forward. As these facts drift into you, let them calm you, not sadden you. The end of the dinosaurs was not the end of life. It was a turning, a passing, a transformation. Inhale, and you feel the weight of history. Exhale, and you feel its release. Inhale, the memory of giants. Exhale, the birth of new worlds. The end of their era was the beginning of another, and within that truth lies peace. Block 16, the fossil whisperers. Though the dinosaurs themselves are gone, their voices still linger. They do not roar through the forests anymore, nor walk upon plains, nor leave fresh tracks in the mud. Yet they whisper still, through stone, through bone, through the fossils left behind. Fossils are not only bones turned to rock, they are messages, letters written in patience, stories preserved across millions of years, waiting for eyes and hands to find them. Tonight, as you sink deeper into calm, let us listen to those whispers, those fragments of life that endured long after bodies vanished, those silent keepers of history. The 109th fact rests softly. Fossils form when bones or plants are buried in sediment, pressed under layers of earth, and slowly replaced by minerals. Over time, what was once bone becomes stone, yet the shape remains, the detail survives. Imagine a skeleton lying under soil, each year another layer pressing down, until it is no longer fragile but eternal, a memory preserved in silence. The 110th fact drifts in. Not only bones, but footprints, skin impressions, even feathers have been fossilized. These rare treasures show us the texture of skin, the patterns of scales, the softness of feathers, the steps of young ones running. Picture such impressions upon stone, as though time itself paused to leave a mark. They are not loud, they are whispers of touch, of movement, of presence. The 111th fact glimmers. Fossilized nests with eggs and hatchlings have been discovered, frozen moments of care and beginning. In one, a parent was found still guarding its eggs, wings spread as if time itself could not pull it away. Imagine such devotion, preserved not in memory but in rock, the tenderness of life lasting millions of years beyond its moment. The 112th fact rests gently. Paleontologists, the fossil whisperers of our age, spend years uncovering these stories. They kneel in deserts, brush dust from bone, lift fragments carefully into light. Their work is slow, patient, almost meditative. Picture them crouched beneath the sun, moving with calm hands, listening to the silence of stone. They are translators of whispers, giving voice to what cannot speak. The 113th fact flows softly. Some fossils contain traces of color, pigments preserved within feathers, telling us of patterns and shades. Imagine holding a stone and realizing it carries not only shape but hue, that a creature long vanished still glows faintly through its remnants. The past is not only black and gray, it is painted, waiting for us to see. The 114th fact glows. Entire skeletons have been found locked in combat, predator and prey preserved together. Yet in their stillness, they no longer fight. They rest side by side, their struggle ended, their forms now part of eternity. Picture them in stone, no longer chaos but harmony, their clash transformed into quiet. The 115th fact whispers, amber, fossilized tree resin, has preserved insects, feathers, and plants in perfect detail. Tiny worlds trapped in golden glow. Imagine holding a piece of amber, light passing through, showing a feather or insect exactly as it was millions of years ago. It is like holding time itself, fragile yet eternal, a moment that never fades. And the 116th fact, to close this chapter gently, fossils are not only relics of death, they are records of life. They remind us that everything that lives leaves echoes, that nothing is truly lost, that the earth remembers in stone what time might forget in air. When we listen to fossils, we listen to the earth itself, whispering of its children. As these facts drift through you, feel how they transform silence into comfort. Fossils are not grim reminders but gentle voices. They do not shout. They hum softly, patiently. Inhale, and you feel the weight of stone. Exhale, and you feel the lightness of memory. Inhale, the patience of time. Exhale, the calm of history. The fossil whisperers remind us that life endures, in stone, in memory, in you. Block 17, the age after dinosaurs. When the last of the non-avian dinosaurs faded from the earth, their story did not end, but transformed. For though their era closed, life itself remained, patient and unbroken, carrying forward in new shapes, new rhythms, new voices. The silence that followed their departure was not emptiness, but space for something else to grow, for another age to begin. Tonight, as you breathe slowly, as you rest deeper, let us walk gently into the age after dinosaurs, where mammals emerged from shadows, where birds lifted into skies, and where the earth, as always, continued its endless song of life. The 117th fact arrives first. After the asteroid impact, many small creatures survived. Mammals no larger than rats, birds with feathers enough to endure, reptiles that needed little. These survivors found themselves in a quieter world, one without giants, one where niches lay open. Imagine a forest floor after silence, where tiny mammals scurry, gathering seeds, their bodies fragile but alive. Survival is sometimes small, yet it is powerful. The 118th fact drifts in. Birds, the true heirs of dinosaurs, filled the skies that once held pterosaurs and feathered raptors. They diversified into countless forms: songbirds, seabirds, raptors, waterfowl, their wings beating a continuation of ancient rhythms. Picture a dawn sky alive with calls, wings flashing in first light, each bird a whisper of dinosaurs carried forward. Their presence was proof that endings are only transitions. The 119th fact glows. Mammals, once small and secretive, began to expand. Without dinosaurs to dominate, they grew larger, explored more roles, filled more spaces. Some returned to seas, becoming whales and dolphins. Some rose upon plains, becoming elephants and horses. Some climbed trees, becoming primates, our ancestors. Imagine this transformation as a tide, slow, steady, inevitable, life rising in new forms as old ones passed. The 120th fact rests softly. Forests regrew after the darkness lifted. Flowering plants spread, and ecosystems blossomed again. Within a few million years, Earth was alive with color, with scent, with sound. Imagine fields of flowers stretching under warm sun, insects buzzing gently, birds nesting, mammals grazing. The Earth heals itself again and again, a truth as calming as it is eternal. The 121st fact flows. Crocodiles, turtles, and other reptiles that had lived beside dinosaurs continued into the new age, largely unchanged. Their survival speaks of resilience, of forms so balanced they endure through upheaval. Picture a crocodile sliding silently into water, its body ancient, its presence unchanged from when it watched dinosaurs drink from rivers. In its eyes lies continuity, a reminder that some things persist through all endings. The 122nd fact glimmers. The mammals of this new age diversified into predators and prey, into grazers and hunters, into climbers and burrowers. Within their variety, seeds of future worlds were sown. Imagine small packs of carnivorous mammals moving together under moonlight, their bodies swift, their senses keen. They filled spaces once occupied by raptors and tyrants, carrying forward the balance of life. The 123rd fact whispers, primates with grasping hands and thoughtful eyes appeared and adapted, climbing trees, exploring forests, sensing more than instinct alone. From these beginnings, humans would one day rise, though still far in the future. Imagine their ancestors gazing at stars from branches, unaware of what would come, yet part of the same endless story. The 124th fact rests. Though dinosaurs were gone, the Earth was not emptier. It was different, reshaped, ready for new chapters. Life's resilience turned loss into creation, endings into beginnings. Picture Earth breathing after silence, filling itself again, never stopping, always flowing. And the 125th fact, to close this chapter softly. The age after dinosaurs is not a separate tale, but a continuation, one we live within even now. Every mammal, every bird, every human carries forward threads of that ancient world. Their time ended, yet their story continues in us, in the skies, in the forests, in the seas. As these facts gather, feel their calm. The dinosaurs ended, yet life remained. The Earth does not stop. The Earth does not forget. It continues, reshaping, rebalancing, renewing. Inhale, and you feel continuity. Exhale, and you feel renewal. Inhale, the presence of ancient survivors. Exhale, the rise of new worlds. The age after dinosaurs is still unfolding, and you are part of it tonight, carried in its rhythm, resting in its peace. Block 18, the legacy in our imagination. Though the bodies of dinosaurs turned to stone, though their age upon the earth closed long ago, they live on in another realm, not in forests or rivers, but in the minds and hearts of those who came after. Their legacy is not only written in fossils, but in imagination, in stories, in the quiet awe they inspire when we picture them walking once more. Tonight, as your breath deepens, as your eyelids lower, let us wander through the ways dinosaurs remain alive within us, their memory softened into comfort, their presence reshaped into wonder. The 126th fact arrives softly. Dinosaurs live in science, studied through fossils, reconstructed in museums, modeled in books. Paleontologists rebuild their forms from stone, shaping skeletons that stand silently, their bones rising above visitors like gentle guardians. Imagine walking through a hall of fossils, the air cool, the light dim, the skeletons stretching upward. They are not frightening, but calming, their stillness steady, their presence eternal. The 127th fact drifts in. Dinosaurs live in art, painted upon canvases, drawn into children's books, sculpted into statues. Each artist shapes them differently, some fierce, some gentle, some radiant with color. Picture a page filled with watercolor dinosaurs, their bodies soft with hues, their eyes calm. Art makes them dreamlike, transforming science into beauty, memory into comfort. The 128th fact glimmers. Dinosaurs live in stories, from myths of dragons to tales of giants. Long before fossils were understood, people who uncovered their bones imagined creatures of fire and scale, monsters of legend. These stories, though not scientific, carried the same awe, the sense that Earth once held beings vast and powerful. Imagine sitting by a fire, hearing such tales told in whispers, the shadows dancing softly upon stone walls. The 129th fact rests. Dinosaurs live in children's minds, where toys and books bring them alive again. A child looks at a plastic triceratops, a picture of a brachiosaurus, and sees not a fossil, but a friend. Imagination transforms them into companions, guardians, wonders to dream of. Picture a child falling asleep with a dinosaur toy clutched close, their dreams filled with ancient herds moving gently through meadows. In such dreams, dinosaurs breathe again. The 130th fact flows gently. Dinosaurs live in film and media, sometimes portrayed with thunder, sometimes with grace. Though stories often show them roaring and chasing, even these tales remind us of their presence, of the awe they carry. Imagine watching a dinosaur move across a screen, but instead of fear, you feel calm. The rhythm of its steps steady, the swing of its tail hypnotic, the rise and fall of its breath like waves. The 131st fact whispers. Dinosaurs live in museums not only through bones, but through reconstructions filled with feathers, colors, and sounds. Children and adults alike walk through these halls, their imaginations expanding. Picture families standing quietly, gazing upward at a sauropod skeleton, their voices hushed not by fear but by reverence. The dinosaurs become teachers of patience, of perspective, of time itself. The 132nd fact rests like a stone in a river. Dinosaurs live in our dreams. People often imagine themselves walking beside them, riding upon their backs, or watching herds move across endless plains. These dreams are not only fantasy, they are expressions of longing for connection, for wonder, for the ancient. Imagine yourself now walking in such a dream, the air calm, the earth steady beneath your feet, the dinosaurs moving silently at your side. And the 133rd fact to close this chapter softly. Dinosaurs live because we keep them alive. They are not gone while we imagine them, not silent while we tell their stories, not vanished while we see them in birds above us. Their legacy is not only stone but spirit, not only fossil but memory. As long as humans dream, the dinosaurs remain. As these facts drift into you, feel how imagination itself becomes a lullaby. Dinosaurs are no longer creatures of fear, but companions of thought, gentle presences within stories, soft shadows in dreams. Inhale, and you feel their memory rise. Exhale, and you feel their legacy remain. Inhale the wonder of ancient shapes. Exhale the comfort of eternal imagination. The dinosaurs live still, and tonight they live within you, guiding you gently into sleep. Block 19, Resting with the Giants. The story we have wandered through has been long and filled with shapes, sounds, and whispers of life. We have seen the giants rise and fall, the small wonders dart through forests, the nests cradling fragile shells, the feathered ones lifting into skies, the strange forms standing proudly. the waters and airs filled with presence. Now, as you rest deeper, the time has come to lie down beside them, to let your imagination curl softly into their world, not as an observer, but as a companion. Tonight you rest with the giants, and in their company, you find peace. The 134th fact rests first. Sauropods, the long-necked giants, moved slowly across the earth, their steps like heartbeats. Imagine lying upon the grass as one lowers its neck beside you, its eyes calm, its breath warm. Its sheer size does not intimidate, it comforts. A reminder of strength without aggression, of presence without demand. You breathe in rhythm with its slow exhales, its calm becoming your calm. The 135th fact drifts in. Ceratopsians, with their horns and frills, stood as protectors of their herds. Picture yourself resting in the shadow of a triceratops, its body shielding you, its calm steady. Its frill rises above like a natural wall, its horns glowing softly in twilight. You feel safe, held in quiet guardianship, as though nothing in the world could disturb your rest. The 136th fact glows. Ankylosaurs, armored like fortresses, carried peace in their stillness. Imagine one lying near, its tail curled gently, its armor shining in moonlight. You run your hand across its surface, stone cool and firm, and you know you are beside something enduring, unshaken, eternal. Its stillness seeps into you, settling your thoughts, grounding your heart. The 137th fact flows softly. Hadrosaurs, the duck-billed giants, filled valleys with their quiet voices. Picture lying close to a herd at night, their calls low and resonant, like deep instruments echoing through the dark. Their voices vibrate softly through the ground, lulling you like music. You are not outside of their song. You are inside it, wrapped in sound and calm. The 138th fact rests gently. Predators, too, rested. Even Tyrannosaurus, fierce in imagination, needed silence, needed sleep. Imagine lying nearby as one curls upon the earth, its breath heavy but slow, its muscles slack, its eyes closed. Its body, once a symbol of power, is now only a figure of rest. In that moment, you see no threat. Only another creature seeking calm, as you do. The 139th fact shimmers. Nests filled with eggs glowed softly under starlight. The parents standing close, wings spread. Picture yourself near such a nest, your hand resting against the earth, feeling the warmth radiating upward. The promise of new life soothes you, reminding you that all endings carry beginnings, that sleep itself is a kind of renewal. The 140th fact whispers, the ground you lie upon carries the memory of them all. Fossils beneath soil, bones turned to stone, tracks preserved in rock. They are not gone, they are only resting deeper. Imagine the earth itself as a bed, cradling both you and them, holding life's memory in layers. You are not apart from it, you are part of its rest. And the 141st fact to close this chapter softly. When you rest tonight, you are not alone. You rest with the giants, with the herds, with the feathered, with the strange and the small. Their story is not distant. It is beside you, within you, around you. They breathe with your breath, they sleep with your sleep. As these facts drift, allow yourself to surrender fully to the calm. Inhale and you rest in the shadow of giants. Exhale and you feel their stillness flow through you. Inhale, the strength of their presence. Exhale, the peace of their rest. You are safe, you are calm, you are carried by time itself. Tonight you lie beside the dinosaurs, and in their company, you drift gently into the deepest sleep. Block 20, the final lullaby. The journey has been long yet gentle. We have walked among the giants, wandered with the small, listened to the music of crests and calls, rested in the shadows of nests, and felt the softness of feathers drifting across time. We have followed them into rivers and skies, into forests and plains, into the strange shapes and the familiar patterns, into their beginnings and their end. And through every fact, every whisper, every step, we have discovered not only the dinosaurs, but the rhythm of life itself, endless, resilient, calming. Tonight, as your body lies still, as your breath deepens into the quiet of night, let us bring their story together, not as a roar but as a lullaby, not as an ending but as a final drift into rest. The 142nd fact rests gently. Dinosaurs lived for over 160 million years, enduring storms, eruptions, shifting continents, and the slow passage of time. Imagine such endurance, steady and calm, like waves upon an endless sea. Their story reminds you that patience is power, that survival is its own kind of wisdom. The 143rd fact drifts in. They came in all forms, from giants that shook the earth to tiny creatures that perched upon branches. Some wore armor, some bore feathers, some carried sails or horns or domes. Their diversity was a tapestry, each thread a different shade of life. Imagine this tapestry now spreading across your mind like a blanket, soft, colorful, wrapping you in calm. The 144th fact glimmers. Their voices were not only roars but calls, trills, songs, and silences. Parasaurolophus with its deep horn, hadrosaurs with their resonant murmurs, feathered ones with their bird-like cries. Picture the air filled not with noise but with harmony, a chorus of sounds blending with wind and water. Their music was the Earth's own lullaby. The 145th fact rests softly. They cared for their young, guarded their nests, brooded with wings spread, endured in families and herds. Their tenderness was as much a part of them as their strength. Imagine a parent wrapping wings over eggs, or a herd gathering close around its young. Their love was not loud but steady, a whisper across ages that life is carried by care. The 146th fact flows gently. Though their age ended, their story did not vanish. Birds fly above us still, each feather a memory, each song a continuation. When you hear a sparrow at dawn, a gull at sea, or an eagle overhead, you are listening to dinosaurs, alive in the present, singing softly of the past. The 147th fact glows like twilight. Fossils, those patient whispers, remain in stone, telling us their secrets. Bones turned to rock, footprints hardened, feathers preserved in amber. Each one is a voice saying, "We were here, we lived, we endured." Imagine holding such a stone, feeling not weight but calm, not distance but closeness. Fossils are not endings, but connections. The 148th fact whispers, their story lives in us, in imagination, in art, in stories told to children, in films and dreams. We keep them alive, and in return they keep us wondering, keep us humble, keep us connected to the vastness of time. Picture yourself dreaming now of walking beside them, not in fear but in awe, your steps matching theirs, your breath steady with theirs. And the 149th fact to close rests deeply. The dinosaurs remind us that life is vast, time is long, and yet within that immensity, there is peace. They lived, they thrived, they ended, and their whispers remain. Tonight, you lie not in their shadow, but in their embrace, wrapped in their story, carried by their memory, lulled by their presence. As these final facts settle, allow your body to surrender fully to rest. Inhale, and you feel the strength of giants. Exhale, and you release into their calm. Inhale, the warmth of feathers. Exhale, the silence of stone. Inhale, the endlessness of life. Exhale, the peace of sleep. The dinosaurs have spoken, not in roars, but in lullabies. Their story is finished, yet their presence is eternal. And now, so gently, you drift with them, carried into dreams, safe in their company, calm in their memory. And before you drift away completely, if this journey brought you calm, if this story carried you gently into sleep, I invite you to share that calm with others. Leave a soft comment with your thoughts. Subscribe to our channel to join future journeys. Like this video if it eased your night, and share it with those who may also need rest. Together we can keep these stories alive, not with noise, but with whispers, not with demand, but with calm. Good night, and may you rest with the giants.